The McClendon Report, Ask or Ask, Donda's Rules, Suit Shoes, all available at McClendonReport.com.
The drinking age, not a consistent proposal. In France and Mexico, parents can sit down and have a beer or a glass of Merlot with their children. But in the United States, children can fight in a war, cast a vote, and get a driver's license before they can taste their first frosty mug of suds. Seems unfair to someone who can die in a war. Ohio State, Duke University, and Lake Forest College advocate lowering the drinking age to decrease binging. Mothers Against Drunk Driving disagree. Should we put an age on drinking? Call me tonight on Garrard McClendon Live. Welcome to Garrard McClendon Live. Hey, should there be an age on drinking? Some countries have a lower drinking age or none at all. Yet the United States clutches to the sacred age of 21. Colleges are speaking out by advocating a lower drinking age. One of the schools on board with the Amethyst Initiative is Lake Forest College. Here's the statement. As a nation, we recognize the responsibility of 18-year-old men and women to vote, drive, smoke, and fight for their country. So it does seem somewhat odd to officially declare them too young to drink. I oppose irresponsible drinking by anyone of any age, and I am interested in ways of encouraging responsible behavior. You know, I'm telling you, the president here is speaking with forked tongue, and I've got a special guest today, you know, joining us to discuss the Amethyst Initiative and driving after drinking is the, where is she? Is Mary Gall, the region administrator for Northeast Illinois, MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Mary, welcome to Garrard McClendon Live. You know, what's going on out here? I'm looking at the Amethyst Initiative. I'm looking at Support 21. But first, Mary, let's talk about what your organization does for the good and for social justice purposes.
Well, MAD's mission is to stop drunk driving, to reduce underage drinking, and to support the victims of drinking and driving crashes.
Now, today these colleges spoke out, and they're saying, you know, the drinking age should be lower. There's too much binge drinking on college campuses. It seems like they're trying to find a way to avoid lawsuits or a way out. What do you think their motive is on this, Mary?
Well, it's hard to say and to look into someone else's head, but I very much sympathize with the difficult job that college administrators have to deal with. The underage drinking problem is not a straightforward problem. It's a challenge to deal with, and I think that's very difficult for them. And you know, maybe they see this as a solution, but the statistics, the research does not bear it out that what they hope would be a solution is a solution. And you know, MAD is very data-driven in our stances on things. So if the statistics or research would bear that out, we would be the first people to say, let's go for it, let's lower that drinking age, but it does not.
Now, Mary, could you explain Support 21 for us? Is that possible?
Well, the drinking age was raised to 21 in the 80s nationally, signed by Ronald Reagan. And since that time, we've seen a marked decrease in crashes from underage drivers, drunk drivers. The equivalent research shows approximately 900 lives saved yearly since the drinking age was raised to 21. So that's a pretty tough statistic to argue with. And if you ever talk to someone who's lost a loved one in a drunk driving crash, it's very hard to argue with them that that age should get lowered again.
630-575-TALK is the number, 630-575-TALK. Should the drinking age be lowered? Now, you know, 18 may be too low, but when you look at other countries having a lower drinking age and probably far less fatalities, that becomes the question. Also, we're giving younger people, 18-year-olds, the ability to die in a war, the ability to drive a car, you know, the ability to do some things that we say adults can do, but they can't drink. I'm going to the phones. You're on Garrard McClendon Live. What is your question or comment?
My comment.
Yes, talk to me.
My comment is, because we develop mentally, have to go through stages in life to get to adulthood, meaning adolescence, puberty. Alcohol is mind mood altering. So you would not want to give a minor or a child any alcohol, because then they can't make cognitive decisions and they don't have the critical thinking skills needed to function in the world. Alcohol.
But Seth, what about other countries where there isn't a huge problem with people under the age of 21 drinking? Is it just a United States problem?
I'm not saying it's a United States problem or it doesn't go out throughout the world nationally. What I'm saying is that people have to develop mentally first before you start giving them mind mood altering substances.
Yeah, that's a good.
Alcohol is a mind mood altering substance.
Yes, that's a great point. Thank you so much for your phone call. I'm going to Jose. Jose, you're on Garrard McClendon Live. What's your question or comment? Jose, talk to me.
Mr. McClendon?
Yes.
Well, I think that if you go to war at 18, you should be able to drink.
Yeah.
Because you could smoke, you could buy lottery tickets. You should be able to drink.
Okay, Jose, let me ask you this, though, because I got Mary Gall from MAD. What about underage people who may be prone to drinking and driving? What's your penalty for that?
Well, if there's parents right there, I don't think they're gonna be drinking. So I don't think.
Yeah. Thanks for your phone call, Jose.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it. Talk to me, Mary. The issue is the issue for MAD the age, or is the issue driving?
Well, actually, it's both, Gerard. The age, actually, the first woman caller had an excellent point. There is actually scientific research which shows that the brain develops into the 20s. Therefore, there is evidence that people who drink earlier are more likely to become alcoholics. Certain development of the brain can be stunted. So it is very detrimental to the brain. So it has other things that it impacts. Besides which, underage drinking impacts a lot of other things. You know, judgment. Crime is increased. Depression. All these things can underage drinking impacts. So it's beyond just the driving aspect.
Yeah, so that 3-year difference can be monumental. I mean, it's not like a 40-year-old to a 43-year-old. We're talking a 21-year-old down to an 18-year-old. We're going to continue with you, Mary. Would you allow your child to drink with you? What should the drinking age be? Do you agree with these colleges that say lower the drinking age? Call me at 630-575-TALK. Garrard McClendon Live. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Garrard McClendon Live. We're speaking with Mary Gall from MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. We're taking your phone call, 630-575-TALK is the number. I'm going straight to the phones. Hold on tight there, Mary. I'm going to Doug. Doug, welcome to Garrard McClendon Live. What's your comment?
I totally think that 18 should be the drinking age. I mean, think about it. Times are changing, you know, from the last 10 years to the present time. You're looking at kids can have sex at the age of 18. They can bring life into the world. They can buy cigarettes. They go to college. They rent apartments. They buy cars. I mean, we really should give them another chance out here. I mean, it used to be that way before. We could go back and change it and see these kids actually got some brains left.
Hey, Doug, let me ask you this. Do you think these colleges are right? And there's dozens, if not hundreds, of colleges that believe that this drinking age should be lowered. Of course, Duke University is in the mix, Ohio State University. Do you think that they're right? I mean, because college becomes a rite of passage for a lot of students.
I'm sorry, I cut out on that last bit. What was that last piece?
Doug, do you agree with these colleges?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely, I agree with them.
Yes. Thanks for the phone call. Appreciate it. I'm going to John. John, thank you for calling Garrard McClendon Live. What's your comment?
Yes.
What's your comment?
Stickney.
What's your comment?
Stickney.
All right. We're gonna go to the next phone call. Vanessa, you're on Garrard McClendon Live. What's your comment?
I'm actually for lowering the drinking age simply because I'm a third-year college student.
Okay.
I'm not going to name what college I go to, but it is a notorious party school. And what I noticed the most about it is most accidents happen from, incoming freshmen. It's the first time away from home, and it happens from binge drinking at house parties where there's no supervision, as opposed, if they're able to go into a bar, they can drink there. Half the time you have police out there, they can spot it, they can ensure that there is no one drunk. It reduces the risk of someone driving home drunk or, just harming themselves or someone else.
Yeah.
As a result of it.
Wow.
Whereas, like I said, a lot of the over drinking happens at house parties where, it's a bunch of, like 19, 18, 21-year-olds who have no one there to actually keep an eye on
Hey,
them.
Vanessa, hold on. Stay right there with me because I want to ask you this question. When you see and witness this underage drinking, is there, and you got to please turn your TV set down, is there any supervision whatsoever, or you just see the keg in the middle of the floor and everybody just goes for it?
House parties, the only time you will get any adult supervision will be like after somebody gets hurt and, the police show up to break it up. And even then, it is a very rare thing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times now, kids these days, they're not going to have it on the first floor. They're not going to have it in the backyard.
Right.
They will find a way. They have it in basements where you can't really hear them.
Hey, Vanessa, thanks for the phone call, and I really do appreciate her calling in. Of course, she said she's at one of the most notorious party schools. She didn't want to mention it. I'll let my audience fill in the blanks. Mary, let's talk about this. Children under the age as well as children over the age, they're drinking too much. How do we get them not to get behind the wheel of a car?
Right. It's a very complex problem, and I wish that the solution were as easy as lowering the drinking age. But it just really isn't. And I think that we all would like it to be that easy, and that's why this idea is appealing to us. But the fact of the matter is that we need to change our culture of this drinking as a rite of passage. It's a very dangerous thing. It costs lives every year. Even with the drinking age at 21, with underage drinking and driving, binge drinking, alcohol poisoning, and it's just something we need to work at as a community, and there's no quick fix.
Right.
It's not a simple issue. So I think your callers want to have something easy that they could hold on to, but I think the fact the truth bears out that other countries don't have an easier time with this issue than we do.
Right. So that becomes the myth. Mary, stay right with us. Hey, CLTV.com/GML is the blog. You can comment. Will lowering the drinking age remove the forbidden fruit syndrome? Call Garrard McClendon Live, 630-575-TALK. I have an opinion, but I want to hear yours. We'll look at drinking ages around the world. Stay with me. We'll be back in 2. World drinking ages, no age limit. China, Thailand, Portugal, and Nigeria. This is interesting because we're finding more and more that the drinking age in the United States may become a problem. We're looking at drinking ages of 16, Austria, Belgium, France, and Italy. United States is 21, and age 18, Israel, Mexico, Ireland, and Russia. Welcome back to the show. We're talking college drinking, driving, and lowering age limits with Mary Gall from MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Phones are open, 630-575-TALK. I'm going to the phones. I'm going to Stacy. Thank you for calling Garrard McClendon Live. What's your comment?
Yes, my comment is if they want to lower the age, okay, fine, but you have to accept the personal responsibilities of being an adult. So if you're not 21 and you're caught being drunk out in public or DUI, the fine should be $1,000. And if you're in college, you are a face of this college, which is making the college look bad. It should be either slapped on to the tuition, making the parent pay for it, or either the so-called adult, it goes on your credit score if you don't pay it.
Oh,
you want to be an adult, you're going to welcome to the adult world, because when you don't pay for things and when you're irresponsible, things affect you down in the future.
Stacy, appreciate that. Mary, let's talk about this, Mary. Now, when it comes to MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, are you advocating stiffer penalties for these actions, or are you simply just trying to educate people?
Well, we have various approaches. We have many, many approaches to the drunk driving issue. Education is one part of it. Right now we have our big push is the campaign to eliminate drunk driving. More enforcement, high visibility, safety checkpoints and saturation patrols is a known deterrent to drunk driving, and the use of ignition interlock devices, which offenders would have to have installed in their car to keep them from driving drunk. So we try to look at prevention, and the 21 age is an excellent prevention law. It's shown that it does work.
Mary, let me ask you about that ignition contraption that I've always had questions about. Now, is it like a breathalyzer that triggers whether you can turn the key? Well, what's up with that?
Yes, absolutely. There's a company that monitors them, and it is installed in your car, and you can blow in that, and if you're under your required limit, if you're an offender, then you can actually, I believe offenders have to have no alcohol at all, DUI offenders. But you are able to drive, and so this is an excellent thing, because people who are offenders who are sober should be able to drive to get to work and to do the things they need to do.
But Mary, what's to keep someone who may have had less alcohol from blowing into that device for you, and then the offender still gets behind the wheel?
Well, that's an excellent question, and that was a problem with the devices early on, but that problem has been solved. What happens is that they require repeated tests as the driver is driving. And if you blow while you're driving and it measures alcohol, what will happen is your car's headlights will start flashing and horn will start sounding. So come January, this is a new requirement for offenders to have. If you see a car with flashing lights and horn sounding, be very cautious of that car, because that is a DUI offender driving drunk.
Yes, appreciate that information, because I always wanted that clarified. Felix, you're on Garrard McClendon Live. We're going back to the phones. Felix, what's your comment?
Yes, I'm a 50-something-year-old man. I was a Vietnamese area veteran. I believe that the drinking age should be lowered to 18. There's no difference. If you can go out there and get yourself killed in Iraq for this country, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to have a drink legally in this country. Now, I understand what Matt is saying, but that should go from 18 to whatever, because believe me, the people that are 45, 50, 30, and 40, they're also out there drinking drunk, and they're also out there drinking and driving and doing things also. So it's not just because they're 18 years old.
So Felix, you're advocating lowering the age, but making stiffer penalties on those who are caught drinking and driving.
Right. Yes, regardless of what age they are. Because an 18-year-old, he's responsible as, regardless of what man thinks they say, the 18-year-old, he is as responsible as anybody else. I was 18 during the time that the drinking age was 18. Yes. And I didn't go out and run over anybody, and neither did anybody that I know go out and run over anybody.
Wow, Felix has spoken. Thank you for your phone call. Mary, you want to respond to that? I mean, Felix is talking about decriminalizing going from 21 to 18 and just placing stiffer penalties on anyone who drinks and drives.
Right. It's, you know, I hear him and I feel for him and what he's saying. But it is very hard to argue with those numbers. You know, if he were to talk to a victim of a drunk driving crash and to think we have 900 per year fewer of those people, that's a pretty tough argument. We're talking 17,000 people, you know, that we estimate, the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration estimates, are still here with us because of that law.
That's a good point. Hey, tell me what you think about colleges wanting to lower the drinking ages. At my blog, cltv.com/GML. Has MAD gone mad? Is it responsible behavior or safety fanaticism? GML back in 2. Hey, joining us from Studio C is Mary Gall. She's from MAD. I really appreciate you being on the show today. This is amazing. I do want to say this though, Mary. Earlier today, Morehouse College was trying to say that they were supporting the Amethyst Initiative, but it seems as if they're bowing out. You know what, Mary? Thanks for being on the show. Train up a child in the way that he should go, and he won't binge, drink, and drive. Hey, know that Garrard McClendon does not advocate drinking and driving, partaking in alcohol consumption. Be responsible, keep your head up, and always be positive. God bless you.
The McClendon Report. Ask or Ask, Donda's Rules, Suit Shoes. All available at McClendonReport.com.